Hi, this is the evaluation of the order trading system for February the 24th, 2021. We had 4 trades on that day, and all 4 were buys. First trade was EAF. That is Graph Tech International Limited. It tripped at 1:35:29 p.m. at a price of 12.61. Again, it was a buy trade. It closed the day at 12.75, up 1.43%, so that's definitely a positive. I check to see if the indicators for it are showing direction, and that OBV looks good. You can see in the afternoon it just started coming up. MACD came up in the afternoon, down a little bit in mid-afternoon, up again late afternoon. DI showing the same thing in the afternoon, was going up, and Bollinger Band showing going up. So that stock was just moving up in the afternoon. Next trade is BCRX. That's BioCryst Pharmaceuticals Incorporated. It tripped at 1:35:51 p.m. at a price of 11.58, a buy trade. Closed the day at 11.81, down a little bit early morning, but it closed the day from previous close, up 6.49%, so that's obviously a positive. And we'll see what the indicators are showing. OBV pretty much showing rising in general. You can see like late morning till somewhat late afternoon. It was basically moving sideways and came up again OBV wise. MACD was moving downwards from late morning to late afternoon. Basically moving sideways in the afternoon period. DI somewhat moving sideways. You can see that peak where it jumped up on obviously DI in the afternoon. Not extensive, but it shows about half and half practically. And Bollinger Band, yeah, pretty much based on these other indicators, we're showing somewhat movement because it's bouncing back and forth, which is somewhat an indication that it probably is moving somewhat sideways. But there was opportunity with the stock. It did close above its tripping price. Next trade is HUYA. That is Hua Incorporated. Tripped at 2:40 p.m. 2:48 p.m. at a price of 28.66. It closed the day at 28.41, down 0.18%, and it's rising early morning, but it did not close above its tripping price. So we'll see here 240, so roughly around here. 28.75. Okay, so a good 15 minutes here in late afternoon where it was, moving above its tripping price. To me, that's enough time to get out, and I consider it a positive just because of it. It obviously didn't close, above its tripping price, but that's not abnormal. The indicators, BV showing that it jumped up in that afternoon period, stayed up there and came down a bit. MACD showing staying came up, jumped up in that afternoon and came down a bit. DI is showing fairly good positive move. So DI is showing fairly aggressive, and again, it was strongly positive direction. So DI is showing a good aspect of the direction, of the movement of that stock. And again, Bollinger Band started off down at 28, closed around 28.50. So that stock did rise, even though it closed below its previous close. So it's it closed below its open. It opened Opened at 27.75. Well, actually, that doesn't make any sense. Yeah, this is incorrect. Yahoo's not really sure. This should be indication of the activity for the day. Well, it's activity for okay, yeah, but yeah, it actually is based on previous close. And we see 28.41, and it closed yesterday at 28.46. So technically, the stock was at 28.46 at open, or from the previous day close. So technically, it was at that value. It just happened to be that it was trading down probably early morning that brought it down and caused this downward trend. Yeah, so that was my mistake, I guess. So that stock was down from previous close. Next trade is IVR. That is Invesco Mortgage Capital Incorporated. It tripped at 321.12 at a price of 410, closed at 415, up 8.64%. So that's again another positive trade opportunity. And OBV sideways, and then you can see it came up in the afternoon. MACD came up in the afternoon. DI actually, from the time it just started collecting data in the afternoon, so it's basically just the afternoon period. But you can see that it was a little bit more negative than positive DI wise, and DI was very negative when it was down in the early afternoon, early mid afternoon. It was down, go down, and all of a sudden it just clipped back. And you can see DI says it was down heavily negative, but it was also up heavily positive. So it was almost kind of like a somewhat back and forth activity. But the good thing is you can see it did come down, but stayed steady in the afternoon when it was down, and then came back up. So that's sort of like what we see in the aspect. So that's 4 out of 4 stocks. So that's again another 100% positive trade. You can't get much better than that. I'll leave it at that. Thank you very much.